There is a face in this water. It is beautiful, perfect, everything you wish you were, and it will destroy you. The Greeks told this story 3,000 years ago. A hunter named Narcissus, so beautiful that everyone fell in love with him. He rejected them all. Then one day he saw his own reflection in the water. He didn't know it was himself. He fell in love with the reflection. He couldn't look away. He stayed there until he died. He became the flower that bears his name. This is not about vanity. It's about a mask, so convincing the person wearing it forgot it was a mask at all. Carl Jung called this the persona, the face you show the world, and he said something terrifying about it. He said, "The persona is necessary. You cannot function without one. But confusing the mask for your face, that is how you lose yourself." Season 2 is about myths and the archetypes they map. Last episode, the shadow and the minotaur. What you hide. Today, what you show instead. If the shadow is what you suppress, the persona is the decoy, the version you offer the world. The decoy becomes the problem when you forget it's a decoy. Jung said the first half of life is building a persona. The second half is learning to take it off. Most people never reach the second half. You've probably heard that the mask is bad. Be authentic. Strip it off. A lot of content treats the persona like a disease you need to cure. And by the way, if you've played a certain Japanese RPG, you already know the words persona and shadow. You just didn't know Jung invented them. Jung never said the mask was evil. He said the danger isn't wearing one. It's forgetting you have a face underneath. This is Mindscape philosophy. Today, the persona and Narcissus. The mask you wear, the reflection that trapped a man for eternity, and the woman who lost her voice trying to be what everyone else needed. The word persona comes from Latin. It meant mask. Specifically, the mask an actor wore in a Roman theater, personare, to sound through. Jung borrowed this word. Your persona is the role you play, the voice you project, the character you perform so convincingly that others believe it, and eventually so do you. Here is the part most videos skip. You did not build this mask alone. Society built it with you. From the moment you were born, people told you which parts of yourself were acceptable and which were not. The loud child learned to be quiet. The emotional child learned to be calm. The curious child learned to nod. Each piece of the mask was laid down not from lies, but from survival. By adulthood, the mask is automatic. You don't even notice it. At work, professional. With friends, relaxed. With parents, dutiful. Alone, exhausted. But the mask can still come off. When it works, the persona is flexible. You wear what the situation needs, then you take it off. But when it stops being flexible, when you can't take it off even alone, that's not a persona anymore. That's a prison. Before we go deeper, a question. Jung said the danger of the persona is not that you wear a mask. Everyone does. The danger is something more specific. A. Wearing different masks for different people. B. Confusing the mask with your real self. C. Never developing a persona. D. Letting the shadow control the mask. Answer later. But before Narcissus, the man trapped by his own image, we need to talk about Echo. Most people are not Narcissus, most people are Echo, and nobody tells her side of the story. Echo was a nymph with a gift for words. She could speak beautifully. Zeus used her to cover for his affairs. His wife Hera found out, and her punishment was surgical. Hera did not kill Echo. She took her voice, but not entirely. Echo could still speak. She just couldn't speak. First, she could only repeat the last words someone else had said. Then she saw Narcissus, the most beautiful creature she had ever seen. And she fell in love. But she couldn't say it. She could only wait for him to speak first and echo whatever he said. He heard her in the trees, called out, "Is anyone there?" Echo could only say, "There, there." He said, "Come to me." She ran to him, embraced him, and Narcissus, seeing someone who could only mirror his words, was repulsed. He pushed her away. Echo represents the person who becomes whatever others need. She mirrors, she adapts, she has no voice of her own. She loses herself trying to be what everyone else wants. She is the persona failure nobody talks about, the slow, quiet disappearance. Now Narcissus. Most people think his story is about vanity. It isn't. He was a hunter, skilled, beautiful, surrounded by admirers and completely alone. He wanted no one, not because he thought he was better, but because he'd never met anyone who felt real. Then he found the pool. He bent to drink, and he saw a face, the most beautiful face he had ever seen. He didn't know it was his own reflection. He thought it was someone else, someone who finally matched what he'd been looking for. He tried to touch it. The face dissolved. He waited. It returned. He spoke to it. The lips moved, but made no sound. He reached again. It disappeared again. The face in the water could never be reached, could never love him back. Here is the Jungian reading. Narcissus did not love himself. He loved an image of himself. Loving yourself means accepting the real person, flawed, complex, alive. Loving your image means loving a frozen, idealized reflection. The persona is that reflection. This is the trap. When you invest everything in the persona, the profile, the grid, the version that gets approved, you are Narcissus at the pool, falling in love with a reflection that cannot love you back. The tragedy isn't that he was vain, it's that he couldn't stop looking. He knew the face wasn't real. He stayed anyway, because looking away meant admitting he'd spent his life chasing something that didn't exist. He died there. The flower that grew where he fell still bears his name. But the flower doesn't lean over the pool, it faces the sun. Quiz answer. The danger is B, confusing the mask with your real self. The persona is healthy, forgetting you have a face underneath it. That's how you become Narcissus at the pool. So how do you know if the mask is wearing you? There are signs. 1. You can't rest. Peace feels threatening. Your value is measured by output. The idea of a day with nothing to show for it feels like death. 2. You perform even around people who love you. You can't admit struggle. The mask stays on, because that's what they know, and you're terrified of what happens if they see underneath. 3. Criticism feels like annihilation. If the mask is rejected, the person behind it feels like they don't exist. 4. You don't know what you enjoy anymore. Hobbies became side hustles. Passions became personal brands. You can't remember the last time you did something just because you wanted to. 5. You don't know who you are without the role, without the job title, without the relationship. If asked to describe yourself, without mentioning what you do or achieve, could you answer? If these feel familiar, you're not broken. You're wearing a mask that got too tight. The mask is only dangerous when you forget there's a face underneath. One more question. Both Narcissus and Echo are destroyed by their relationship to identity. What is the single thing neither could do that would have saved both? A. Love someone else. B. See themselves clearly. C. Walk away. D. Speak their own voice. Answer at the end. So what happens when the persona fails? When the mask you've worn for decades suddenly doesn't work? Jung said this can be the most important moment of your life. It happens when you lose the job, when the relationship ends, when soldiers leave the military, when you retire, when you age. The thing that defined you is gone, and you ask, who am I now? Jung saw this crisis as sacred. The collapse of the persona is not a breakdown, it's an invitation. When the mask falls, you get to meet the person underneath for the first time in decades. The question is not, how do I get rid of the mask? You can't. You need it. The question is, can you wear it without becoming it? Jung called the journey toward wholeness individuation. The persona is the first barrier. You cannot meet your shadow if your persona is standing guard. Individuation doesn't mean stripping off every mask. It means knowing when you're wearing one. Choosing which mask and why, being the wearer, not the worn. A conscious persona is flexible. Professional at work, social at a party, undefended when you're safe. The mask comes off when it's no longer needed, and the real face underneath is enough. You can find Jung's definition of the persona anywhere, the Narcissus myth in any book. Here's what you can't find anywhere else. 3 things you can actually do. The mask audit. For one day, notice every time you shift. Who are you at breakfast? In the meeting? Scrolling alone? Don't judge. Just name the masks. The professional, the pleaser, the strong one. You can't change what you can't see. Naming it is the first step, the unmasked hour. Once a week, spend 1 hour with no performance, no audience, no goals. Do something you loved before you learned to perform. Draw badly, sing off key, walk nowhere in particular. I know how this sounds, an hour of doing nothing productive, But the mask was built on productivity. It doesn't know how to just exist. Teaching it to rest is the most radical thing you can do. Start with 20 minutes if an hour terrifies you. The voice reclamation. Echo lost her voice by only repeating others. Write down one thing you actually believe, that you've never said because it would disappoint someone, not to publish, just to know it's yours. Your voice exists underneath the mask. It's been waiting. Go back to the pool one more time. Narcissus is still there, bent over the water. Echo is in the trees, a voice with no self, and you are at the edge of the clearing, watching both. You are not Narcissus. You are not Echo. You know the mask exists. You know the reflection isn't real. Knowing is the beginning, but knowing isn't enough. You also have to choose. The hero doesn't just see the labyrinth. The hero walks in. Theseus volunteered. Nobody made him. That choice is next time. On Mindscape Philosophy, quiz answer. What could have saved both? B. See themselves clearly. Narcissus couldn't see that the reflection was himself. Echo couldn't see that she had a self at all. The tragedy of the persona is always a failure of recognition. This is Mindscape Philosophy. Tomorrow morning, one mask audit. One moment of noticing who you're being and whether you chose it. The mask is not the enemy. The forgetting is. See you next time.